What's up? What's up? So before you ask, I heard Blake Griffin retired officially. I thought he was already gone. I didn't think nobody was going to even touch him. I mean, really. No, he's not a Hall of Famer, but he had what we call a very good, illustrious career. I mean, he was one of the most important slam dunk artists of his generation and his time. He was like the junior whopper Sean Kemp. And the faces and the places, and I still remember the emoji of Andrew Bynum's face when he made that dunk. That was one of the most hilarious reactions I ever saw. But he didn't really develop anything else to his game until after he left the Clippers because it was all Lob City. He never really did work on his game. You know, it's kind of like the same fate as Dwight Howard and Sean Kemp to an extent too. You know, and one of the things about cats that are athletic, mainly dunkers or power guys, if they don't have anything else or they don't dominate or they don't win rings or nothing, the spectacle is all you remember about them. That's one of the reasons why it was so hard for some people to put Vince Carter in the Hall of Fame. And it's polarizing. Does he belong? Doesn't he? Because he had a scoring average and he was in is very talented, but the mental aspect of his game. But he had the athleticism and he did shoot threes. But if you start to hold criterias and you start to actually hold the NBA to accountability, where you just don't put everybody in, because Blake is one of those guys that, and remember, I remember Skip Bayless was talking about it. He said, I would have taken Steph Curry over Blake, which at the time, no one saw Steph Curry being what he became. If you would have polled people back then and said, who's going to be closer to being a top 10 player of all time of those two, you would have thought hypothetically it would have been Blake and not Steph. But don't go into thinking. That's why, to be honest with you, one of my pet peeves sometimes, and it's not no knock against people, because I got much respect. I respect their knowledge and everything. However, when people ask me about basketball, baseball, football, something like that, and they say, what do I think about the draft and all that? It's hard for me to answer because unless I see someone that's really distinctive or they do something that really moves me, it's just an educated guess, you know. Because it depends on the system you play in, your coach, your teammates, your work ethic, what you enhance, what you add to your game. And Blake's a good example. Nothing really got added to his game. But he was fun to watch when he was in his peak in his prime, but it was one dimensional. But if people thought he was soft and they took shots at him, I remember Kobe did stand up for him, but he was a one trick pony, and that's the sad reality. So when you get to these times, yeah, he had a good career. Is he Hall of Famer? Not to me, he ain't. But he was fun to watch. But if they put him in the Hall of Fame, I won't cry because the NBA is like Oprah giving out a car. Eventually, everybody gets in. So, but to me, I wouldn't say no because he needed to be on a team that had someone that could lead him and put him there. And unfortunately, that's why when Chris Paul's name comes up, he's not in my top 5 or 6 or so point guards ever because he didn't do the job. And they were predicted to come out many a time. How long have people been waiting on the Clippers to make a statement in LA? Just think about it. And when Blake went to Detroit, that wasn't going to happen. And he got to Boston and they really weren't there. Because, again, Tatum and them can't bring the rain to him. But if you go on somewhere like Denver and play with Jokic and you saw what done to Aaron Gordon, another slam dunk alone. See how these things kind of triculate? Aaron Gordon didn't have half the career Blake Griffin did, but he got a ring and he's a front court presence and he fits in with Jokic. That would have happened to Blake Griffin. We'd be having a different discussion now because as a side piece, he'd have gotten in, but not being the front main piece. Please like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another shitter if you like my piece.